go. Good job.
If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd do the same things. And I think I've accomplished everything that I've accomplished, and some things are just, you know, real amazing to me. Like, you have a lot of people who want to consider me for the Heisman. I think that's a tremendous honor for them to even say something like that. And I've accomplished, I never had any idea that I'd set school records in receiving or had the longest kickoff return in the school's history or what have you. I just came here to really get an education, hopefully play a little football and get a chance to play in the NFL, and I've accomplished, as far as I can see, all three of those.
Accomplishment is what Carolina standout Sterling Sharpe is all about. The senior receiver is one of the most talked about players in college football today and is tabbed as a likely first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. The reasons: his grace in receiving, skill in running, and the fact that he can do this: score touchdowns, and do it when it counts. Sharpe is the money man, the one to go to when you gotta get it done. And he's done it enough to set 7 school records. In 1985, the longest kickoff return for a touchdown. 1986 saw 3 records: most yards receiving in a season, most receptions, and most touchdown receptions. And then there are 3 career records he's currently adding to: most career receptions, most career yards receiving, and most consecutive games with 1 or more receptions. An amazing amount of offense for the senior from Glenville, Georgia, a player who was recruited by some big-name schools, but surprisingly, they wanted him more for his defensive potential. But it was head coach Joe Morrison who found in Sterling a silver pair of hands.
Sterling was in our first recruiting class, and it was one of those years we probably looked at him as a defensive back and as an offensive receiver, and he was redshirted his freshman year, of course, and then came back, and he's been a receiver since really his freshman year, his redshirt freshman year.
Everybody wanted me to play defensive back, and you know, it was a great position. It's a real fun position, and you're moving all the time, and you're constantly, you know, in the game at all times, but it just wasn't a position that I wanted to play. I felt that I was a type player that I had to have the football in my hands. Somehow I had to have it, and you know, maybe 3 or 4 interceptions a year just wasn't going to do it. And I had to have it, you know, 4 or 5 times a game. So this university gave me the opportunity to go out and play where I wanted to play, where I felt comfortable, or where I felt I could help the team the most.
Probably year 4 last, we utilized him a little bit as a receiver, and then certainly last year I think he started, made a great deal of progress and started coming into his own probably the latter half of last football season, and then he picked up this year and took right off where he was last year. I don't think he's probably had as many catches as this point in time as he had a year ago, but the catches and what he means to our offense is probably much more valuable this year than a year ago.
Do you feel like you showed him?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I did. I've done everything that has got recognition for our school and for myself, and a lot of the coaches are saying, you know, that I'm one of the best receivers in the country, and you know, things like that really make you feel good, because you're so close to becoming a defensive player, and then to have something good like this happen to you as an offensive player is a real step forward for you.
Yeah, come on. Baby, one more.
Becoming one of the nation's top receivers takes more than luck and determination. This is where a lot of Sharpe's time is spent, the weight room at Carolina. A few years ago, weight training became a strong emphasis for Gamecock football players. The best at weight training, based on a relative power index, made the coveted roster of Iron Cocks. Here again, Sharpe has led the field. As a highly considered athlete nationally, he's obviously confident about his strength and durability. But he seems very aware that he really is just part of a team.
you know, a lot of the guys that are not getting the glory are doing something so Sterling Sharpe can get the glory, and that's what I think is overlooked most of the time. And I have 10 guys on the punt return team that every time we go on the field, we got intentions on running one back, and they lay it all on the line to go out and make their block so we can return one for a touchdown. And they go out and do that every punt return. And there was one game we had 9 punt returns, and they went out 9 times and tried to, you know, we tried to run one back. And when you have efforts like that, things are going to happen to you. And, you know, with the football in my hands and the guys going all out for me, the only good can happen.
Some of that good was recently highlighted in Sports Illustrated. The article focused on one team relationship that's been mutually beneficial to Sterling and his quarterback, himself a star performer, number 9, Todd Ellis.
You know, if Sterling Sharpe was at Notre Dame right now, he'd be in the running and probably wrapped up the Heisman Trophy. So it's got a lot to do with politics, and here at South Carolina and then being in the South, that Sterling's not gotten as much recognition as probably due to him. But he's going to get a contract, and he's going to be an All-American, and I think that will make up for it in the end point. But it helped Sterling on the national level, and you know, and it was very exciting for me to be in it too.
That was great. I don't know what what possessed him to want to do an article on Todd and myself, but it was a great job. He did, he really had an idea what kind of story he wanted to write. It was just to ask a few questions and watch a football game, and that was, probably one of the largest highlights of my life was being in Sports Illustrated, and all my friends back home have it. My mother and father has it, and I have about 30 copies of it myself. So,
because he executes every play almost perfectly, he's not only just a great route runner and catcher, but he does an excellent job blocking and is a very good leader on the field. So Sterling's almost like a second quarterback out there.
He and I pretty much can guess when the ball's coming in my direction. Being a quarterback in high school, I can see what he sees and read pretty much the same things and know where he's going with the football, and it's just a matter of me working that much harder, getting open, and him throwing the football where I can catch it. And he's been doing a great job of getting me the football. But that's a combination that's just unbelievable. When I got here in '83, I never had any idea that a combination like that would be even thought of at the university. I figured Mike Holt and I got together for a few bombs in '85, but I think Todd and I really established ourselves nationally about being, two of the long ball threats. We'll put it up on you, and we're not afraid.
On the field, Sharpe is loose, even relaxed, allowing Ellis most of the reins of leadership. Sharpe prefers to lead more by example, on the field and off, as he works towards his second diploma at USC. He says he's accomplished just about all he came for at Carolina, but one of his toughest challenges still lies ahead, one most of us only dream about: heading for a career as a pro in the NFL.
I was just hoping to get a chance to work out and get a shot at playing in the NFL, and now the talk is about being a first rounder, and you can't trade a feeling like that for anything, and you can't let that change you, because you got to realize back before you even had those dreams that you weren't considering being a first rounder. You treated people very nicely. You were always open and honest and with everybody, and you tried to help as much as you can, and you can't let something like being a first round draft choice change your life in any way.